great to see so many grandparents, friends, and all kinds of people at the school, including our students who are in the back. Thank you for being here today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andy Chappell, and I'm the head of school here at Derryfield. I've been looking forward to this day for many reasons, but two in particular. The first is to point out to our students and remind them of how fortunate they are to have all of you, grandparents and special friends, who are here today in their lives. As we know, grandparents and special friends, you are important contributors to the success and the well-being of our students, and I'll have a little bit more to say about that in a few minutes. The second reason I've been looking forward to this day is quite honestly to see who would arrive first. If there's one thing I know about grandparents, they like to show up early. And the winner is students. Can I get a drum roll, please? Much to my surprise, it was my own mother, Kathy Chappell. Where is she? She also happens to be Sam, my daughter, who's a senior this year, her grandmother, of course. Hi, Mom. Nice to see you. All kidding aside, this event offers us the opportunity to do two important things. First, to celebrate the rich and distinctive history of Derryfield by remembering and celebrating our founders and the vision that they had for this great school. The second is to give grandparents and special friends a glimpse of what students are experiencing here at Derryfield each day. For those of you who are visiting us for the first time, I want you to know that Derryfield is a community of people who care deeply about fulfilling our mission and vision, which is, and I quote, to inspire bright, motivated young people to be their best, and to provide them with the skills and experiences needed to be valued, dynamic, confident, and purposeful members of any community. We breathe life into this mission by engaging students with 21st century approaches to teaching and learning, including project-based learning and assessments involving real-life problem solving. In just the past few months, the upper school science students have been preparing presentations on innovative approaches to sustainability in the Derryfield community, which they will present 1 week from today at the University of New Hampshire Community Changemaker Challenge. Middle school math students put on a probability carnival just a few weeks ago to explore all the ways that probability can define our world, while upper school math students pitched their hedge fund algorithms to accredited investors in AT investment math. And finally, students in middle school history classes created dynamic podcasts about lesser-known figures in African American history, while our 9th grade students have been engaging in dialogue about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Critical to this type of teaching and learning is the core belief that students learn best when they have a connection or a relationship to an adult. Thus, we are intentionally small, with 400 total students in grades 6 through 12, all of which allows us to offer small classes and personalized attention. Through relationships, we help our students lead lives of passion and purpose. As a school, we also recognize, however, that it takes a village to raise a child, and that is where all of you, grandparents and special friends, come in. We know that in order for our students to fully thrive, they need many different adults who are interested in them, cheering them on, and maybe, just maybe, even sharing a story or two about how they walked every day to school, up a hill, in their bare feet, in a foot of snow. Again, all kidding aside, your role as a grandparent or special friend is critically important to the healthy development of our students. And as you know, the road sometimes through grades 6 to 12 can be bumpy. But your love and support is what our students need in order to be their best and to be purposeful members of any community. So thank you for being here to support and encourage your Derryfield student. After this program, you will have an opportunity to attend a class and experience our teachers in action. You can then walk around with your student and tour our facilities, have a snack in our new Matarisi Commons, visit with teachers, and importantly, don't forget, take a picture to commemorate your visit here today. I know that our students are excited to show off their school and introduce you to their teachers. At this time, I would like to invite the upper school concert choir to the stage who will be performing Orange Colored Sky, written by Milton DeLuge and Willie Stein. Please welcome our upper school concert choir.
I've never felt like this before.
It went ooh, flash. It went ooh, bam. Alakazam.
I love you like no other. I'll take good care of you.
One look and eye of timber. Watch out for flying glass. 'Cause the silicon land in the bottom fell out. I went into a spin and I started to shout at the hint. This is it. This is it. I was walking along, minding my business, when love came and hit me in the eye. It went flash, bam, alakazam, out of an orange-colored sky. It went ooh, flash, it went ooh, bam, alakazam.
The lightning struck me, the thunder roared, and baby, I've never felt like this before.
It went ooh, flash. It went ooh, bam, alakazam.
Run for cover. I love you like no other. I'll take good care of you.
Orange colored, purple skies, pretty green polka dot sky. Flash, bam, alakazam. It's goodbye. Oh yeah.
Thank you, Upper School Concert Choir, and to Jeffrey and Felix providing some assistance on the keys and on the sax. Big round of applause again for them, too. And now we turn to celebrate and remember the founders of the Derryfield School. Founders Day gives our school a moment to pause and think about the remarkable people who came together and gave birth to the Derryfield School in 1964. As the story goes, 12 original dreamers and 39 founders teamed up in 1964 to start, quote, an inclusive, independent school dedicated to preparing children for college and life, unquote. And they created what is the first and now only non-sectarian independent day school in New Hampshire for grades 6 to 12. Business and community leaders, education professionals, doctors, artists, and civil rights advocates, our founders gathered in their living rooms to make their vision a reality. Entrepreneurs in spirit, they each invested $1,000 in this high-risk startup. One founder even donated a painting as his investment. Some did not even have middle or high school age students yet, but their goal was clear. The education was to match the quality and rigor of a top boarding school, while keeping their children home to benefit from and contribute to family life. Working together to develop a vision and a founding philosophy, the founders emphasized that a Derryfield education should be much more than just a rigorous program in athletics, academics, and arts, summarizing beautifully their aspirations with these memorable and compelling words. Quote, recognizing that academic achievement without concern and compassion for others is meaningless, we are committed to purposeful involvement in the world outside our school in both the local and the global community. With that foundation in mind, we turn our attention to the Founders Scholar Award, which each year we award to a current junior. The Founders Scholar Award is named for Peter and Ellie Friedman. Peter was the first chair of the Board of Trustees and considered by many with his wife Ellie to be the inspiration behind the Derryfield School. Peter was a Manchester businessman described as having an adventurous nature with a strong ethical and caring sensibility. He had a passion for the study of science, music, and art. He served in World War II and later was a peace activist the rest of his life. He cared deeply about fairness, marching in the 1963 March on Washington with Dr. Martin Luther King, and he would later go on to co-found the Manchester NAACP with another DS founder, Merv Weston. Ellie was similarly instrumental in the establishment of the school, serving as a member of the New Hampshire Council for Better Schools, where she had known Phil Pugney and later recruited him to be our first head of school. She worked for and led a number of statewide education-related organizations and was referred to by many as the Dean of Educational Reform and Advocacy in New Hampshire. As is our tradition, the current senior who was awarded the Founders Scholar Award at this time last year is asked to deliver the Founders Scholar speech and then present this year's Friedman Founders Scholar Award to the junior who exhibits high scholarship, character, and contribution to the Derryfield community. Our award winner from last year, Prayag Patel, has lived up to the billing in this his final year at Derryfield. Prayag's teachers constantly remark about his participation in discussion and how inquisitive yet reflective he is as a learner. Prayag has also contributed widely as a valuable member of the cross-country and tennis teams and shared his talents as a musician and a leader of our robotics team. But most importantly, Prayag is a generous and thoughtful person, poised to do important and groundbreaking work in the years ahead. Please join me in welcoming our 2023 Founders Scholar winner, Prayag Patel, to the stage.
Thank you, Mr. Chappell, and good afternoon, everyone. A special thank you to the founders for having a thoughtful vision for the school. Thank you to the faculty and staff here for helping to bring that vision into reality with each lesson in the classroom and with each interaction in the hallways. And finally, thank you to the families, friends, and students gathered here today for trusting in Derryfield's vision. But what does it look like to have a vision for something? In preparation for this speech, I thought about what it would be like to steer Derryfield's vision. If I went back to July of 1964 and had the chance to meaningfully influence the school, what would I change? The athlete in me would establish a broader network of running trails, along with a fully funded ultimate frisbee and volleyball team. The academic in me would advocate for a larger library with more quiet nooks to study in. And the musician in me would think that adding a marching band would be pretty cool. If I were a founder of this school, I would try to add an 8th core value: sleep. But I doubt any of this would pan out. Perhaps we simply don't have the funds to expand our trails or add new niche sports teams. Or maybe there simply isn't enough interest in a marching band. Some people may argue that sleep shouldn't be its own core value. And while students may support this initiative, some families may not want their tuition money going to school-mandated siestas. There is simply too much uncertainty when looking far into the future and planning something out. While these plans I proposed are completely hypothetical, this feeling of uncertainty is very real. Uncertainty is something that the founders must have grappled with when developing the vision for an entire school. And it's also something that I've had to manage as a student here at Derryfield. I am a Derryfield lifer, meaning that I've had the privilege of attending this school since the 6th grade. I was uncertain about my decision at first. As an incoming 6th grader, I was afraid of being in a new environment with new faces and new personalities. While the fortune cookie in my admissions package helped allay my initial anxieties, this feeling of uncertainty persisted to the first day of school. At the beginning of each school year, during the very first community meeting, Derryfield holds a ceremony for matriculating sixth graders, where they parade down the steps of the auditorium and into their assigned seating section for the year. So let's jump back 7 years to this day. It's September of 2017. I'm over a foot shorter, my hair hangs down to my eyes, and braces decorate my young smile. I follow my classmates as we push through the auditorium doors. The first thing I notice is the noise. Despite how deafening the applause is, it warms my anxious heart. As my eyes adjust to the dim auditorium, I notice the people towering over me. But their steady, reassuring stares offer me an odd sense of comfort and belonging amid the chaos. I continue to march down the auditorium stairs. My hair bobs up and down with each step. And finally, I take my seat. The applause dies down, and the feeling returns. This feeling of uncertainty of what I would make of my Derryfield experience. What will I make of myself here? Uncertainty can be paralyzing. At that moment, with both my middle and high school years in front of me, I was afraid. I did not know what to expect, and that absolutely terrified me. To deal with this, I took solace in the certain parts of my life. My schoolwork with its predictable deadlines, my peers whom I could always rely on for insights and laughter, and weekends with family when everyone was home together. There is so much uncertainty in 7 years. So much. So it was much easier to think about my time in more recent, manageable pieces. Soon, I developed a certain routine, and after being afraid of uncertainty for a few weeks, I grew comfortable. But as I transitioned from middle school to high school, I was met with another bout of uncertainty. This transition was already difficult with the new classes, new teachers, and new buildings, but this difficulty was compounded by the challenges of the pandemic. Let's jump back 4 years to this day. It's September of 2020. I've been reduced down to the size of a rectangle on a computer screen. I had showered just minutes before, so my hair is freshly combed, and I've thankfully long outgrown my braces. I follow my virtual schedule as I punch in the meeting code and password to enter my virtual class. The first thing I notice is the noise. Despite how deafening the notification sound effect is, I'm oddly comforted to hear everyone joining the Zoom meeting. As my eyes adjust to the screen's brightness, I notice my peers in the call. My tired eyes meet their tired eyes, building a strange sense of camaraderie. I continue keeping up with class. My battery drains with each passing minute, and finally, class ends. People start leaving the meeting, and the feeling returns. This feeling of uncertainty of what I would make of my high school experience during virtual learning. Will the rest of high school really be more of the same? Uncertainty can be disorienting. Sometimes we are right to be afraid in the first place. After all, fear is a feeling designed to protect us. No amount of preparation would have prepared me for the monotony of virtual schooling, for the hours spent staring at a screen, taking pictures of assignments, and mindlessly clicking between Chrome tabs. The days bled together, the hours alone brought boredom, and the minutes online were sometimes interminable. The pandemic initially brought an unhealthy amount of uncertainty, but as I quickly fell into a painfully predictable pattern, I realized something. Certainty gets boring. I grew restless, and I now actively sought out uncertainty, something new that would stimulate me. I navigated the rest of high school with this guiding philosophy that too much certainty made things uneventful, and that moderate uncertainty was necessary for me to have a fulfilling high school experience. With this in mind, I auditioned for the musical, joined new clubs, and took more difficult classes. Leaning into uncertainty, I ignited a passion for music, forged new friendships, and discovered my interest in teaching others. I carry this mindset with me to this moment, where about a week ago, I was panicking because I was uncertain about what to write about for this speech, and I will carry this philosophy with me after my time at Derryfield as well. So at the beginning of the speech, I told you all about what I was thinking as a 6th grade student here. So I think it's only fitting that I end by sharing what I'm thinking in this moment as a Derryfield senior anticipating graduation. let's jump forward to this day. It's June of 2024. I'm around the same size that I am now. My hair is probably neatly done, and braces have become a distant, unwelcome memory. I follow my classmates up the stone steps. The first thing I notice is the noise. Despite how deafening the Lockwood graduation bell is, it gives closure to my anxious heart. As my eyes adjust under the shade of the swaying trees, I notice my classmates around me. Their steady, supportive stares add to the finality of the moment. I keep up with the moving line. The chatter dies down as I approach the front. Finally, it's my turn. I ring the bell and am met with the congratulations. And unsurprisingly, the feeling returns. This feeling of uncertainty of what I will do next. Where will I go from here? However, comforted by my past and having learned to appreciate this moment, I'm somehow prepared to meet this feeling. After 7 years of education here, I've grown more comfortable in knowing that uncertainty is inevitable, that will stay with me forever. And that's one of the few things I will always be certain of. Thank you for listening. All right, it is now my honor to announce the 2024 Peter and Ellie Friedman Founders Scholar. When asked about this year's recipient, it was shared that they are a leader in the classroom, both in terms of diligence and in moral commitment. They go above and beyond in all aspects of life, from taking the most challenging curriculum to involving themselves in Derryfield community life, to spending countless hours teaching and studying the art of dance. Just as a student embodies grace on stage, they also carry themselves with poise and perseverance in the classroom, where they show care and dedication to developing a deeper understanding across disciplines. Please join me in congratulating Apexu Yusel on being in this year's Now, we welcome Jeffrey Bartlett to the stage to perform More.
pleasure to introduce this year's keynote speaker, Mr. David Snow Jr. David's parents, Dr. David Snow and Edna Snow, were among the 39 founders of Derryfield, and our speaker was among the first group of students who attended Derryfield in the 1960s. David is a nationally recognized healthcare executive with 40 years of experience leading Fortune 50 companies, health plans, hospitals, and several innovative startups. He was recognized as one of America's best CEOs by Institutional Investor in 2008, and in 2010, he was named number 27 on the Harvard Business Review list of best performing CEOs in the world. David is the founder, chairman, and CEO of Cedargate Technologies, a provider of technology-powered end-to-end solutions to enable success in value-based care. Prior to his work at Cedargate, David was chairman and CEO of Medco Health Solutions, a Fortune 34 company. He took Medco public in 2003 and grew it from $30 billion to $72 billion over 9 years. He also held the positions of president and CEO of Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield, EVP of Oxford Health Plans, and president of HMO New Jersey for U.S. Healthcare. Early in his career, he founded Managed Healthcare Systems, later named AmeriChoice, and sold to United Healthcare. David holds a bachelor's degree from Bates College and a master's degree in healthcare administration from the Fuqua School of Business at Duke University. David also serves on the boards of Teladoc, Premise Health, and the Fuqua School of Business. Please join me in welcoming Mr. David Snow Jr. to the podium.
Thank you for having me here today. It's amazing what the Derryfield's become. I can tell you that when I started school here, I was at the Manchester Boys Club and the Art Institute. And it wasn't the perfect facility that you currently enjoy, but the teachers were phenomenal, even back then in the very early years of Derryfield. And I'm here really to pay tribute to the founders of the school, the vision of this school, because honestly, the things that Andy just read about my career wouldn't have happened if I hadn't come here. And I think when you think about why my parents invested in this school, it's for the mission that Andy just talked about. And I'm so happy you kept the mission. It's exactly the mission that the founders that I know wanted us to continue. So let me make the mission real for a person like me. When I was in 5th grade, 6th grade, and my sisters are all here, they will admit this is true. I was not engaged as a student. I wasn't stupid, but I was not engaged. And no matter how hard my parents tried to prod me to do my homework, I was more interested in hanging with my friends. I was also accused of watching a little too many of the Three Stooges back then. And honestly, the problem with that trajectory was I would never discover what I'm good at. I would never discover what I love to do. And I would probably never have fully optimized my potential. So, came to Derryfield, and I have to tell you, it was life-changing for me. I remember some of my teachers, Mr. Dunbar, mathematics. I was a mediocre student in terms of my own focus. I got decent grades, but I wasn't focused. Mr. Dunbar, in a smaller class size, knew how to bring out the best in people. I took him for algebra, I took him for calculus. I was really good at math. And he just opened the doors for me there. I also remember Mr. Smith in the sciences. Did a phenomenal job getting me interested, getting me engaged. And I think, in public school, the big danger in a public school is big classes. Big classes is hard for a teacher. The teacher tends to do what's called bowling alley teaching, where they have to teach down the middle. The kids in the class who are really advanced, maybe they've self-actualized early, they get bored because the teachers can't keep them stimulated. And those that are not yet awake, those who have not awakened, get left behind because you can only serve so many students in a large class. The beauty of the Derryfield class is you're your own person. The classes are small enough that we can get the best out of each and every one of you, regardless of where you are when you start here. And it did that for me. It literally did that for me. I would tell you that had I not come here and taken, by the way, I have to mention Mr. Kogan. I didn't know I was a good writer. Turns out I am. He brought that out. And I would have to mention one more professor, Mr. Plant, French. I still speak in French. I took 5 years of it. It's not Mr. Plant's fault. My mother's maiden name is Marceau, and she's very disappointed in me because her whole family speaks French. I just didn't like it. So again, it's important to understand what you like and what you don't like, because the odds are if you figure out what you like and you're good at and actually what you love to do, odds are you're going to be very excellent with a career and enjoy your life if you find what you love. So, you flash forward, all the things I've done, post leaving Derryfield. Bates College, I was pre-med. My father's a physician, my grandfather's a physician. But I continued my journey and learned that I love business. I like the numbers inside healthcare. I don't necessarily like organic chemistry. So I switched my major from pre-med to economics. I got my Bachelor of Science in Economics and then went to Duke and got my Master's in Healthcare Administration, thinking I'd run hospitals for the rest of my life. Being close to what things my father was doing, but not necessarily laying hands on patients. I didn't run hospitals I ran hospitals for 5 years, but I realized my real passion after that. So just so you know, you think you know what you love, it changes as you grow up and you learn more. I realized I got my real passion running hospitals because I realized how incredibly screwed up healthcare is. How fee-for-service is the most fundamentally perverse incentive ever invented by mankind, and it does not serve any constituent well. And I left the hospital world to go to managed care, and I've been doing that ever since. All those companies that Andy mentioned are involved in managed care, trying to transform healthcare into something that is more patient-centric, trying to, in fact, deliver better outcomes at more reasonable costs for people so that they can actually access care. So I've been doing that for a long time. I'm still passionate about it. I still care about it. If my parents hadn't made the investments they've made, I don't think this is what I'd be doing. And by the way, I'm going to be 70 years old this year, and I started another company. I chair the board of Fuqua, I chair the board of Teladoc. I have no plans to retire. How many people have you met in your life who didn't choose something they love, and they can't wait till they're 65 to retire? And then they don't know what to do with themselves. So by the way, when I sold Medco to Express Scripts, I thought I'd retire. I almost shot myself. I couldn't stand it. I like to innovate, I like to lead, I like to change the world. And by the way, if I hadn't shot myself, my wife would have shot me. It's time to go back to work. So 70 years old, I'm still working, but I have this passion because of my parents started me on this path through Derryfield. And I think all of you students should understand you're on that path now. And the more you learn about what you're great at, what you love, and choose continue to modify what you love as you learn, you have all the potential in the world to be the leaders of this world. And God knows we need better leaders. We need more good leaders. And so, again, Prayag, I just need to tell you, I know you talk about all the other things you'd like to see here in terms of facilities and all. We had one little building when we got here. This is amazing compared to what we had. And I'm sure when you come back to give your speech here when you're 70 years old, I'm confident there will be a lot more here. And it is all about the money. I'll say that. So again, I just want to, thank the founders for their vision. I want to thank Andy and the administration here and the faculty for preserving that mission. My parents have passed away, but they'd love to know that, you know, their intent is still going on. So with that, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, David, for those thoughts and honoring your parents and honoring your experience here. And as you can see, we are proud of how far we've come from that humble beginning back in Manchester to where we are today. And it's not without the support of many in this room and many who came before. So thank you for that. In a moment, I'm going to invite Tony Bongiorno to the stage or up to the front here to lead us in the school song. After the singing of the song, I will return to the podium to give us all a few marching orders about what our next steps are. But thank you so much. Mr. Bongiorno.